Starbucks and Shorty, we got a hell of a story. I've been drinking Starbucks for like 10 years now. No, I've been drinking Starbucks since like 2004. My daughter started me drinking Starbucks. All right, she was in high school then. Um, this is for Governor Hogan. This is for Paul Weinblatt. This is for Peter Francott. This is for Brian Frosch. This is for the state prosecutor. This is for Robert Hur, Department of Justice. It's making a movie and a documentary about the Democratic Party, and y'all locked me up and charged me with terrorism. Y'all incarcerated me. It's making a movie about my daughter and being a father to my kids. It's making a movie about Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Medgar Evers, Marcus Garvey, Thurgood Marshall, Stephen Biko, Nelson Mandela. I was making a movie about being black in America, and ain't no law against that. Y'all charged me with terrorism in 2007 twice, and in 2011 once. Y'all charged me with terrorism 3 times. The first time was on January 31st, 2007. No, 2000. January 1st, 2007. That was the first time. Y'all tried to teach me a lesson. Y'all took me from my sister's house in Zion and y'all held me down at the Lake County Jail for like 8 hours. Y'all knew I didn't commit the crime, but y'all got mad because I came back into town asking for my property from the 86 case. I was innocent of the 86 case, so all my property supposed to be in return. That was my 401k. Judge Boris stole $15,000 from me in 1986. He was State Attorney Boris. And the $15,000 should have been in my evidence locker, should have been in my lockup, but y'all never inventoried that shit. You also had you had a lot of stuff, and it never made it to lockup. So I decided to make a movie out of that in 2006. I started a movie called Let Us Design. Yeah, it was about the war on drugs, the money you make off of black bodies in America, off of black and brown bodies. How you use violence to justify locking up and incarcerating us. I started it with Governor O'Malley, and it was to Get Shorty. It was a movie called Get Shorty. It was a program called Get Shorty. And I did it in your face, because mama said if you're going to steal in your face, and it ain't stealing. And I wasn't stealing. I was making a movie. Ain't no law against making a movie. You locked me up because I named the judges, the lawyers, and the politicians that had their 401ks and their surety bonds tied to the prison industry. So they have to put black bodies in jail. They did it in Illinois and they did it in Maryland. They're doing it across the nation, but I focused on Maryland and Illinois. All I did is went back into 1986, 1984. It was called Operation Greylord. I took that as a blueprint and I brought it to Baltimore because y'all really arrogant. And y'all think that y'all's corruption is covered so well. Rod Rosenstein was shielding y'all's corruption. Rod Rosenstein, Richard McFeely from the FBI, he was shielding the political corruption. He let Governor O'Malley steal from the state. He let Frost steal from the state because they shielded through layers of the Democratic Party. So I made a movie about it, and I broke you down. I'm a whistleblower. I'm not a snitch. I'm a whistleblower. I'm serving my country because I'm a veteran. I'm a United States veteran, honorably discharged. And I took an oath of office to defend my country against all terrorists, foreign and domestic. And our police department is a domestic terrorist. Our courts are domestic terrorists on the black community. So I'm just defending my community. In 1986, I used a gun. In 2011, I used a toilet. In 2020, I'm gonna use a camera in a courtroom because we're gonna settle this in court. Judge Cox has my writ of certiorari. Johnny Oleski asked for a federal investigation. Robert Hur has my Department of Justice ID number. I got a case filed with the Department of Justice, with the FBI, and with President Bush, with President Obama, and President Trump. My paperwork is in Chief Justice Roberts' office as we speak. I'm a finesse type hustler. I told y'all when I started this. Came from Chicago. I'm a finesse hustler. I'm not a gangster. I'm not a thug. But I got gangster in me and I got thug in me. Meyer Lansky taught me this. Fluky Stokes taught me this. American Gangsters taught me this. I document everything I say and do. So you can't pull my card, but I can pull yours. The state of Maryland got over 10,000 cases. You're going to have to reverse and remand. Same thing in Illinois, because the state's attorney and the public defenders work together to incarcerate black bodies. Book, movie, lawsuit. The movie Letters designed by Rob Fix. Everything that Rob Fix has in his possession is evidence for a federal and a state investigation and accessing the grand jury. Everything that he got is what I've been doing for the last 13 years. No Loggins making a movie. I got a producer. I got a film crew. I got a truth speaking the power. You want to stop the violence in America? End the war on drugs. You end the prohibition and you stop killing white people. But you ain't got to, you want to keep that fear going. I'm in Austin, Texas. I'm getting ready to go to Baltimore. I'll be in Baltimore this afternoon. I'll be in Annapolis this week. House Judiciary, Senate Judiciary. I gave y'all my paperwork at the beginning of the session. I want to access the grand jury. I want a federal and state audit. Jake Davis, James Hammond, Paul Weinblatt, Brethren Insurance, Insurance Incorporated, SunTrust Bank, Bank of America, Darlene Davis, Dwayne Gerald Davis Jr. They didn't report tax money. Well, I was locked up in another state that's a vulnerable individual law. I got sole proprietorship. Can't nobody sign my checks, man. They changed that lease in February of 2008. And they were still going through my bank account. They were using my likeness and my pictures. They made $260,000 in 2008. They've accumulated over $2.6 million in my name and my likeness and my work. And the state need an audit. You want me to stop messing with y'all? Give me an audit and it's all over with. Because when the audit come through, the state accepted a forged check in March of 2008. The state of Maryland accepted forged checks in March of 2008. You can go to Bank of America, SunTrust Bank, Jake Davis, Brethren Insurance, and go directly to Paul Weinblatt. Because I asked Paul Weinblatt to file criminal charges against Jake Davis in 2008. Paul Weinblatt refused to file the charges because if he'd have filed the charges, he'd have been involved in it. Paul Weinblatt was my accountant. Money count itself. And I want my money. End of session, I don't get my money, that's when I file a lawsuit. Movie getting ready to come out, so I'm in a win-win situation. I got this boy out in California already, he got a clip of this. I'm selling this to Netflix, YouTube, Hulu, whoever want to buy it, because like I said, I'm a businessman. Change my product, I ain't changed my hustle. I ain't gonna sell barbecue for the rest of my life. I'm gonna sit on the front porch like Mark Twain. I'm gonna be a griot, a storyteller. I'm gonna make moves and I'm gonna make movies, and that's all it's gonna do, and it's gonna make a lot of sense. So you do what you gotta do, because like I said, I just came down here to Texas to get my daughter on the same page. I'm getting ready to set up production companies. In the event of my death, it ain't gonna be like you did when you did Nipsey. It ain't gonna be like you did when you did Martin. It ain't gonna be like you did when you did Trayvon. It ain't gonna be like it did when you did Emmett Till. I don't stutter when I talk. I talk real loud, talk real clear. When I walk in the room, I might check that shit and people pay attention. I'm like E.F. Hutton in Baltimore. Say my name. Shorty means something. When I say it, I mean it. And like I said, I'm on my way home. On Friday, the Baltimore City and Baltimore County delegations, I'm gonna deliver y'all some paperwork. I need a written response. If I don't get I need a written response, because if I don't get my money, then I go to the Supreme Court. Because me and Chief Justice Roberts had this conversation in 2007 when I started this. City, county, state, and federal levels. Judicial, executive, and legislative branches of the government. It's called checks and balances. 2020, we're gonna check yourself. I am Dred Scott. Go directly to Senator Antonio Hayes and get my book. But right now, I got to catch my flight. Deep in the heart of Texas, Juneteenth Day. That's very significant. Pay attention to that. I'm a free man. I own shorties. I own all parts of shorties. And the state gonna have to compensate me for my losses because the state participated in the fraud. Ain't no statute of limitations on fiduciary fraud or fraud when the state was participating in it. Collusion, coercion, destroying evidence. I got all my evidence on film. Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Social media for social change. I'm getting ready to have Mark Zuckerberg give everything that he got since I opened up my account. Everything that's been on social media, that's in the ether, that's in the internet, is going to be evidence. Understand that? Get your mind right. We're going to do this. I want a nomad hearing for the state of Illinois for kidnapping me in 2007 because they took my film too. My intellectual property. Theft of my intellectual property. Ain't no statute of limitation on fraud and fiduciary fraud. In the state of Maryland, state of Illinois owed me $15,000 since 1986 at 30% interest. Plus $1,500 a day for the 186 days that you had me locked up. I'm not no dummy. I'm a businessman, and we're going to handle my business. Understand? 2020 session? Yeah, if I see you down there, I'm going to put this camera in your face and I'm going to ask you the questions. Shorty's Underground News, Shorty's Underground Ribs, Shorty's Underground Network. But my underground is going to be above ground. The revolution will be televised. Mic check.